Hi, my name is Crystal Weeks, and today I would like to talk about the company I've chosen, TJ Maxx, also known as the TJX Companies. TJX Companies is the leading and a well-known multinational retailer of off-price clothing and home fashions. They have divisions that include Home Goods, HomeSense, Marshalls, and of course TJ Maxx. They operate in thousands of stores in North America, Europe, and Australia. And their mission is to continually deliver exceptional value to their customers. So we're going to first look at the Michael Porter's Five Forces framework. And this framework is going to talk about the industry rivalry, bargaining power of buyers, bargaining power of suppliers, threats of new entrants, and threats of substitutes. So we're going to start with the first force, rivalry among competing firms. The off-price retail industry has a high intensity of competition among the existing retailers. It makes it one of the sectors with the highest level of competition due to the large number of businesses that offer similar product and serve the same customers. They have major competitors such as Ross, Big Lots, Macy's, Nordstrom, Walmart, Target, amongst others. Low pricing and customer value are one of their key competitive advantages, and this helps to attract and to retain their customers. The second force we'll look at is the potential entry of new competitors. The potential barrier of entry into the industry are at a moderate level, and I say that because it takes significant capital investment to gain economies of scale in the industry. In intense competitive pressure, it challenges new entrants. Although a company has no control of new entrants, it adapts strategies that ensure it doesn't lose the market share. The third force we'll take a look at would be your potential development of substitute products. The threat of substitute in the department store industry is high, and to help tackle this threat, TJX needs to come up with new innovative products and services. They should also try to build an economy of scales. This would allow the lowering of cost per unit, and TJX is a well-established player in the industry, and by setting the standard, this will help reduce the new entrant players into the industry. The fourth force we will look at is the bargaining power of suppliers. The supplier power in the industry is low, and this is tackled by building efficient supply chain with multiple suppliers or even a dedicated supplier depending on the product. And this can also be tackled with good product design. Industry players secure significant discounts from suppliers due to the high volume of orders. The last force we'll look at is the bargaining power of customers. The buyer power is high in the industry, and this is tackled by innovating new products and building a large customer base. Product variety, stiff competition, and low switching costs increase the customer's bargaining power. By innovating new products, this will help keep from having to discount already established products, and this will also help keep current customers. So now we're going to get into the SWOT analysis. And a SWOT analysis is just an analysis a company uses to look at their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And you can see here in the diagram, your strengths and weaknesses will be your internal factors, where your opportunities and threats will be your external factors. We're going to start by looking at the strengths. So TJX has the ability to achieve synergy and increase capital returns in new markets. There are over 3,000 stores in 7 countries. They have outstanding return on capital, revenue is strong, and is backed by good sales and a strong financial position. TJX has a highly skilled workforce due to the learning and career development programs they offer their employees, and they employ over 150,000 people. Last, they offer a broad product portfolio at low prices. Now, this can require sourcing more capital to facilitate its operations, but they offer anything from gourmet snacks, chips that you might not find in any other store, to clothes for men, women, and children, to dog products, to luggage, to bedding, to shoes. They offer a wide portfolio of items that they can offer at a low price. Now let's look at their weaknesses. They do have a higher days inventory relative to the main competitors, and they have limited presence in the international market by operating only in the Americas, Europe, and Australia. Now I know they operate in 7 countries, but this just isn't enough to reach the entire globe. TJX is a great brand name, and they should use that brand name to reach more countries. They have deficiencies in financial planning. The current asset ratio and the liquid asset ratio suggest that they could use their cash more efficiently. And last, they have technology inefficiencies, such as reluctance to improve online shopping experiences. So now let's get into the opportunities. So there are several opportunities here we can discuss. Rising share of online sales offers TJX the opportunity to cut operational costs and to reach more customers. Growing demand in emerging markets. This could mean tapping further into the international market. Increase of disposable income for key customer groups. And then opening of new markets after government actions. This could be acquisition of smaller retail chains or adoption of new technology. Now let's look at the threats. Economic fluctuation and government policies are different in different countries. Increased competition in the off-price retail sector. This could eventually affect profit margin. Growing strength of local distributors. This is why it's important for them to have that good connection with their suppliers and current distributors and always keep good open communication. Rising pay level core markets, especially in the US and China. So let's take a look at financial ratio analysis. And we're going to start with liquidity ratios, where I'm going to discuss the current ratio and the quick ratio. Current ratio is just the ability to pay your short-term obligations. So if you look, compared to the industry average current ratio at 159%, TJX is improving steadily. You can see in 2016 their current ratio was at 153% and went to 163% in 2017, and then went to 166% in 2018 to where it currently is now at 153%. And this just says that TJX is in an excellent position to meet its short-term obligations. Quick ratio. This gauges liquidity of a company. Yes, TJX has struggled to achieve a quick ratio that is above a 1. The quick ratio spiked briefly from 0.700 in 2016 to 0.863 in 2017, before it dropped to 0.840 in 2018 to where it currently is today in 2019 at 0.703. However, the industry standard quick ratio is 0.776, so they're not far from that. Therefore, TJX can convert fast-moving assets relatively quick to meet its current liabilities. Next, we'll take a look at activity ratios, where I'll discuss inventory turnover and fixed asset turnover ratios. Inventory turnover is the number of times inventory is sold or used within the year. They have improved from 5.96 in 2016 to 6.47 in 2017, before dropping slightly in 2018 to 6.09 and then to 6.08 in 2019. This just means they slightly lag the ability to turn goods into cash due to slow-moving inventory. So let's look at the fixed asset turnover ratio. This is the ratio of sales to value of fixed assets. The industry standard for fixed asset turnover ratio is 7.34. You can see in 2016, TJ Maxx was 7.479, 7.321 in 2017, 7.164 in 2018, to where it currently is now at 7.416 in 2019. The performance was slightly deteriorating, but is showing an increase in 2019. TJX should improve the ability of its fixed assets to generate sales revenue. Last, we'll look at profitability ratio, where I'll discuss gross profit margin and net profit margin. So gross profit margin, compared to the industry standard of 0.29%, the gross profit margin for TJ Maxx has held approximately the same over the past 3 years with an average of 0.29%. This metric is used to assess a company's financial health and business model by revealing the amount of money left over from sales after deducting the cost of goods sold. So let's look at the net profit margin. You can see from 2016 to 2018, the net profit margin has been similar to the industry standard of 7%, with an average of 7.4%. This profit margin can be defined as the percentage of revenue that a company retains as income after the deduction of expenses. Now let's look at some trends. TJX's operating profit improved from 3.58% in 2018 to 5.79% in 2019. This is the profit from business before deduction of interest and taxes. Now, although the cost of sales has increased, their sales revenue has also increased, which can help offset the higher cost of sales. Net income increased from 13.48% in 2018 to 17.33% in 2019. These positive changes suggest TJX's profitability is making improvements. Now, let's take a look at the Boston Consulting Group matrix. You can see here in this demonstration that TJX and Marmaxx are both in the star quadrant, which means they have a high market growth and a high market share, where Marshalls and Home Goods, the other sectors, are in the cash cow quadrant, which means they have a high market share with a lower market growth. Stars, question marks, cash cows, and pets is what makes up the Boston Consulting Group matrix. And you can see overall TJ Maxx companies is a star, and it's due to the vibrant growth and the market share increase. Nonetheless, only Marmaxx sector was able to demonstrate growth in the recent fiscal year 2019, and that's why this puts this into the star category. And therefore leaving Marshalls and Home Goods and then TJX Canada and Internationals belonging in the cash cow quadrants. Some strategic recommendations would be that TJX should order the right amount of stock to improve inventory turnover. This improvement would ensure that TJX surpasses the industry average quick ratio of 0.776 and thus more quickly convert its current assets to settle current liabilities. Next, TJX should expand in emerging markets, and in doing so, the net income percent change could possibly exceed 20% from the current 17.33% recorded between 2018 and 19. And last, adoption of technology to further online sales. E-commerce may reduce TJX's cost of sales, which has increased from 8.22% to 9.13% from 2018 to 19. And I'd like to thank you for taking the time to listen to my presentation of the company I chose to talk about, TJ Maxx. Thank you.